have discussed about what is inheritance, and also we have discussed about types of inheritance. So in the types, if you see in this diagram, we have discussed about single inheritance as well as multi-level inheritance. Single inheritance as well as multi-level inheritance. And today we'll be discussing about hierarchical inheritance as well as multiple inheritance. So before going to this, if you see from the diagram itself, you will get to know what is the difference between all types of inheritances. So let us go to this diagram. If you see, single is nothing but from one parent, from one class to single class. Similarly, multi-level is nothing but from multiple classes to single class, but one after the another. Similarly, coming to hierarchical inheritance, from one class to multiple classes which are at the same level. Nothing but the concept of inheriting variables and methods from one class to multiple classes which are at the same level. And coming to multiple inheritance, if you can see from this diagram, you will get to know that we are inheriting variables and methods from multiple classes to a single class at a time. It is nothing but multiple inheritance. Let me write this point so that you can understand better. So the concept of inheriting variables and methods from one class to multiple classes which are at the same level is called as hierarchical inheritance. If you can see, again I am repeating, hierarchical inheritance, it is nothing but concept of inheriting variables and methods from one class to multiple classes which are at the same level is called as hierarchical inheritance. And similarly, coming to multiple inheritance, what is multiple inheritance? It is also nothing but inheriting the variables and methods. So the concept of inheriting is nothing but, I can say, acquiring, inheriting or acquiring variables and methods from multiple classes to single class at a time is called as multiple inheritance. So again I am repeating, what is multiple inheritance? It is nothing but concept of inheriting. So when I say inheriting, so it is also called as acquiring variables and methods from multiple classes to single class at a time is called as multiple inheritance. So by these statements, maybe you can understand some 50%. So let me make you understand in clear and in detail with the help of some examples. Let me create one directory of day 11. So in that, let me create two files. So one is hierarchical inheritance. Similarly, as well as let me create multiple inheritance. So coming to my hierarchical inheritance, let me create a class of A, so which is having class variables of x and y is equal to 10, 20, and there is a method m1 which is nothing but it's an addition of those class variables. Let me create another class of class B which is inherited from class A, and it is also having two class variables A and B as well as 200 and 100 simultaneously. And class B, which is a derived class from A, is having a method m2. So what it is doing, it is taking its own variables, class variables, and trying to add this. And let me try to take another class, so which is also inherited from class A, and nothing but it is also having two variables, nothing but its own class variables, I, j equal to 5, 2. And similarly, if you see, this particular class has dedicated m3 method also. If you see, we have only one parent class, we have multiple child classes, so which are derived from that parent class. So B of A as well as C of A. So, and another important point, so when you create an object of class B which is inherited from class A, you are only supposed to access class A variables and methods as well as class B variables and methods, but you are not able to access class C variables as well as methods. Similarly, and vice versa. So if you can see, if you create an object of class C, you are only supposed to access, you are allowed to access only variables of class A and methods of class A. Similarly, variables of class C as well as variables of, or I can say methods of that own a class only. Let me try to show you this example so that you can understand. If you can see here, what I'm trying to do, I have only created object of B as well as object of C. So with the help of object of B, I'm able to access M1 as well as M2. right? So with the help of object of C, I'm able to access M1, which is a parent class of C. Similarly, M3, which is its own class. So let me try to execute this. So if you can see here, it is trying to print 10 plus 20 is equal to 30, which is a parent method. Similarly, 200 plus 100, it is nothing but 100. 200 minus 100, it is nothing but 100. It's nothing but subtraction. So which is method 2. With the help of object of B, I'm able to access M1 as well as M2. Let us try to see the object of C. With the help of object of C, I'm able to access M1, which is nothing but 30, 10 plus 20, and similarly M3. So I'm just here multiplying. 5 2s are 10. It is nothing but 10. It got printed. So this is nothing but hierarchical inheritance. In short, we are having one parent, multiple childs, inheriting variables and methods from parent to child, which are at same level. And coming to multiple inheritance, what I am doing, I am inheriting properties from multiple parents to single child. So if you can see, A is one parent and B is one parent. So for C, so I can say C is a child of A as well as B. So C is derived from A and B. C is a subclass of A and B. So when I create an object of C, I'm able to access variables and methods of class A and variables and methods of class B as well. So it is the similar example as like hierarchical inheritance, but there is some difference. So only the difference is in the child class, which is inherited from these two parent classes. For C, again I am repeating, for class C, which is a child class, it is derived from two parent classes. So multiple classes to a single class. It is the concept of multiple inheritance. If you can see, I have created an object of class C. With the help of object of class C, I'm able to access M1, M2, M3. If you can see, M1 is the method of class A, which is a parent class, as well as M2 is a method of class B, which is also a parent class of C, and M3 is its own method. So with the help of object of C, I'm able to access methods in multiple parent classes, right? Let me try to execute this. If you can see, 10 plus 20, it is 30. 20, 200 minus 100, it is nothing but 100, as well as 5 into 2, it is nothing but 10. So in this way, you can able to understand what is hierarchical inheritance as well as what is multiple inheritance. Let us try to see another example. So let me try to create one more example, some miscellaneous example, so that you can understand how I can able to access local variables as well. So let me try to create one class which is having variables and methods. Class variables are nothing but A, B is equal to 10, 20. These are nothing but class variables. And if you can see, class B is a derived class of A. It is nothing but single inheritance. I am just only acquiring variables and methods from one class to a single class. So if you can see here in the class B, you are having its own class variables as well as its own method. It is nothing but M. And in this method, you are able to access class variables of A and B, which are nothing but these are class variables of class A, which is a parent class of B. Again, I am repeating, you are able to access its own class variables of class B, which is a child class, I, J, and it is a child to class A, which is a parent class. And in the parent class, if you can see, it is also having variables A, B. These are nothing but class variables of class A. So since it is a single inheritance and class B is inherited from class A, you are able to access A, B in child class of B. If you can see here, since these are also class variables, you are using self.A plus self.B. So let us try to create one object of class B that is equal to, let me create that of class B. And similarly, with the help of class B, BOJB, I am able to access method of class B, because in this class B, I am also accessing the variables of A, B, which are nothing but class variables of class A. If you can see here, let me try to see 1000. Let me try to give some random value, 1000, 2000. Let me try to remove this column so that there will be no issue. If you can see here, 1000 plus 2000, these are nothing but local variables of that particular class, of that particular method in the class B, which is a child class. And similarly, 300 is nothing but self.I plus self.j. These are class variables of class B. X, Y are local variables, I, J are local variables, A, B are also local variables, but these are class variables of class A. It is also a class, right? So that is the reason why I have used self here. These are referring to class variables. And similarly, 10 plus 20, A plus B, it is nothing but 30. It got successfully printed. So in this way, you can understand how you can access the class variables of parent class from a child class. And similarly, there are two types of inheritances which are very important to understand. We should be aware of this as well as, and we are not using these concepts, but coming to this, these are a combination of some 2 to 3 inheritance which we have discussed. Like one is hybrid inheritance as well as cyclic inheritance. So let us try to see one by one so that you can understand in a simple way. So if you can see what is a cyclic inheritance, it is a combination of single, multi-level as well as multiple and hierarchical inheritance. Up to now we have discussed 4 types of inheritances, like single, multi-level, hierarchical as well as multiple inheritance. So when I say hybrid, it is a combination of 2 or more. What is those combinations? Single, multi-level as well as multiple as well as hierarchical inheritance. It is a combination of hybrid, multiple inheritances which we have discussed so far. It is nothing but a hybrid inheritance. Hybrid, when you say hybrid, it's a combination of 2 or more. So when I say inheritance, combination of 2 or more inheritances. What are there? Single, multi-level, multiple as well as hierarchical inheritance. Then what about cyclic inheritance? When I say a cyclic inheritance, so in a cyclic way, it will be able to inherit the variables and methods from one class to another class. If you can see here, it's the concept of inheriting properties from one class to multiple class, from one class to multiple class in a cyclic way. In a cyclic way, one after the other. It is nothing but in a cyclic way, like round the clock. So when you say after 12, you will get 1, and similarly, you will get 12 again, you will get 1, 3, 4 like that. So it is a cyclic way, right? So in the similar way, you are just inheriting properties. When I say properties, those are nothing but variables and methods from one class to another class in a cyclic way. It is nothing but cyclic inheritance. So by default, Python in general won't support cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance, very important. Python won't support cyclic inheritance. So up to now, these are the important types of inheritance as well as their examples. And at last, it is very important point to understand. Whenever we are defining any class, try to use uppercase letters, and whenever we are trying to use any variables, try to use lowercase, so that we'll have some clear understanding. So it is to be noted.